Here's the official, and this is their guidance to us. Their official position is that realtors should cease doing all face-to-face marketing or sales activities, including showings, listing appointments, open houses, and property inspections. That's the bad news. Now, as a broker in a brokerage and as an office, we've got to see you guys are doing transactions. So what I've done, and I'm going to share with that in the comment section, and I put it on Facebook, I've sent it out via email, and there's constant updates in it. So I want you to use this document as something you're going to refer to daily. And when I make a change on it, the change I'm going to make will be highlighted in yellow, because it literally is changing hour by hour with CAR and the information we're coming down. So I kind of broke it down, and these are a lot of the questions I get from everybody. I got a new listing coming up. What do I do? In regards to marketing existing listings, the biggest challenge is how are you going to get people in there to see the property? So if you have a listing coming up, the best thing for you to do would be to get a virtual tour with your photographer to help with showings. If you get to the point where you're going to have people that want to come in and actually see the property to make an offer, then the best way to do that is first to make sure that the place is cleansed by the seller, sterilized, and then making sure nobody else is home. If you have a buyer that's going to meet at the property, make sure that the buyer does not ride in the car with you. You both show up in separate cars. Good thing to do would be carry the handy wipes, the sterile wipes, to wipe off the lockbox when you open the keys and when you put the keys back in. And then my recommendation is to have the buyer go into the property without you in attendance, maintaining your social distance. Now, that said, remember, CAR says we should not be doing this. So you did not hear this information from me if you're ever asked. I would hope that that could be kept. Wink, wink. My main point on this is to make sure you take extreme cautions, as this could result in fines if you have the coronavirus and you pass it off to somebody else unknowingly. So if you are sick, make sure, and you're feeling the symptoms that they're saying that the coronavirus contains, make sure you don't go on the showing then. Stay home and quarantine yourself. Also, recommendation is to, this might not be absolutely easy to do, but take off your shoes in the house, because the virus can be tracked in by the shoes. And if you can, get the booties, or maybe bring an extra pair of socks to put over your feet. And just make sure you limit the amount of people that are walking through the house. And then, of course, work with the listing agent to make sure that the seller desanitizes the house after anybody's been in it. We've got houses to sell. It's what we're in the business to do. And this is, until you hear otherwise, this is the best precaution we can take. In making offers, the CAR addendum, the CVA addendum, a lot of people have asked me how to fill that. What exactly do we use that with? So if you have an existing escrow, that addendum will only be something that you would have signed if both parties agree they want to move forward with that. If you're a listing agent, you should protect your seller and make sure that you don't have a CVA addendum with box number 2 checked. If box number 2 is checked, what can happen is the buyer could cancel for any cause whatsoever and be able to walk away from the transaction without the seller having any recourse.
What was that? What box number?
Box number 2 on the CVA addendum.
Okay, thank you.
If you are representing a buyer, you will definitely want to attach the CVA addendum with box number 2 and box number 1 checked, because you got to protect your buyer. So, but protecting your seller, you don't want to have that box checked if you can get away when you're making offers. Now everything's open to negotiation as to whether or not the seller's going to be willing to accept it if you're representing a buyer and submitting the CBA addendum on it. Have any questions on it, please feel free to reach out to me. But all this is attached on the best practices during COVID-19 period on the Google Doc that I just shared with all of you guys.
Hey, Robert,
Yes.
question. When you talk to Carr and all that kind of stuff later on, can you see, or maybe there's an addendum that when we sign the BRE with a person that has just them being aware of doing showings at this time might not be the safest, but we have something in writing that we've kind of walked them through that, or no?
Their official position is they're not going to come out with something like that because you're not supposed to be doing anything.
Okay, so is there anything to protect ourselves if hypothetically we were to be out there and?
I'm going to have to say no at this point.
Okay.
If you were to put something like that in writing, that it's showing that you are doing something that you should not be doing.
Oh, I would never do that. I'm just saying, someone might.
Yeah. Good question.
If you do that, you're willingly admitting to breaking the law.
Yeah. And we're breaking the law right now, but we got to we're going to do some stuff we shouldn't be doing. So now, once you get into escrow and inspections, I get a lot of people asking me, there are inspectors that are out there making inspections, and they shouldn't be, but they are. So same precaution mechanisms that you had in place, making sure that if the inspector is going to inspect the property on current escrows, some of the inspectors are making sure they're wearing face masks and disposable gloves. And if you are there to greet the inspector, observe social distancing, just open the house and you don't need to stay in the house with them, and make sure the sellers are gone during that inspection. And I can't convey this enough, sanitize, sanitize, sanitize. And I know that getting the sanitary wipes and stuff like that is in short supply. But if you have that stuff, please take that with you to sanitize before, during, and after, especially on the lockbox. And everything after the inspection, it should all be remote conversations over the phone. Now, and do video conferencing to review findings if necessary. The question was asked on the Avid. I know some of you have some existing escrows, and unfortunately 95% of the real estate agents don't do their Avid when they should do at the early part of the transaction. So if you have an Avid that's outstanding, you haven't done it, you might need to prepare the Avid form and state on page 1 of that the agent was restricted from conducting the inspection per guidelines discussed in a Carr webinar on 3/23/20. Put that on your Avid that you're unable to actually do it because Carr says you can't go out and do it. And that's written in on the best practice document. Final walkthrough, verification of property condition. What should you do on that? Best practices is to see if you can get it waived, if at all possible, because you don't really want to go out and do this and be in the home physically. But if they don't want it waived, then sellers, again, must vacate the property. Both agents should not be there, just one agent. You go in with your buyer. Best practice would be to do FaceTime video, a live video through the house, including any areas in the transaction that were concerned during the transaction that might have been repaired, to verify those repairs. Again, sanitize, 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 remove your shoes, wear booties over shoes. And then, of course, instruct the sellers to wipe down all surfaces after you've left. And then note on the VP form that the final walkthrough was done via video or FaceTime with the buyer not present. Current escrows. This has been where I've spent the last week trying to keep these escrows together. Our expectation is probably 25% will fall out because buyers are getting freaked out. But we're doing what we can to keep the escrows going. If you're the listing agent, constant communication, and buyer's agent, constant communication with the co-op agent, constant communication with escrow and title and lending, even more if necessary. First and foremost is be prepared to manage the anxieties of buyers and sellers. And this is the bold law that goes into play. Keep your emotions between the lines. You're going to be the person that needs to manage the emotions of the buyers and sellers. So this is a great, tremendous growth opportunity for all of you to be able to move through that. Most sellers are so furious right now. If buyers are canceling, they're attempting to keep the buyer's deposit, even if most of their contingencies have not been removed. And if that happens, when you have a cancellation, reach out to me first, because I'm going to guide you through exactly what you need to say to your principal to make sure, one, we protect them, but we don't have cause for them to come back on us and make a claim against you that you didn't guide them properly. This has extreme legal implications, and never make any promises to the buyer and or seller. Oh, don't worry, we'll get your deposit. This is now more than ever, just remain as neutral as you possibly can. And depending on where they are in the transaction, you always have to act in their best interest and offer guidance for them to speak with an attorney. Again, I'll walk you through how to have that conversation, and then I'll walk you through how to memorialize that conversation in the process. In regards to the compliance process, I've spoken with Mark, and we've loosened up the compliance process. If we're missing forms, our biggest thing is when we get escrows closed, we want to get you paid. So we're doing everything we can to make sure that you're paid, get your checks in time. If you're missing a few documents, we'll trust that you'll get it in after close of escrow. So make sure that you're keeping up on your paperwork and documentation. Finally, and I'll know at 2 o'clock when I'm on the board with SDAR, we're the only MLS that hasn't adopted this yet, but there's a hold status for all active listings. And we don't know if SDMLS is going to implement that, but the North County and the South Bay, the CRMLS, have already done a hold status, and they recommended for active listings to be put on hold, so it doesn't affect market time. More information to come from that. Okay, so that's my say-so. Any questions, go ahead and put it into chat or open up your line.
Hey, Bob, real quick. On the VIPs, I just got off the phone with my MAPS coach, and what they're doing out there in Georgia is they're having a seller go through with the video and show you the home. That way you can do your AID virtually through the property with the seller doing the phone with the FaceTime Zoom. Is that something that we can implement here as well?
Yes, go ahead. If the seller's there, yeah, do that. That's safer for everybody. Good idea. Thanks, Jay. Somebody asked the question, any word of SDR offering assistance on Q2 dues? No, did you all get the automated phone call today? I got mine. How will you get checks? Your checks where direct deposit is available with the escrow company, we're allowing direct deposit for close of escrow. So check with your existing escrow and see the escrow company that you're in and see if they have direct deposit available, and I'll sign off on that. If you have an escrow close and they're delivering checks, we are still at the office distributing checks, and we'll leave it in your mailbox. If we have a vacant listing going live soon, can we still keep it active? I will know later at 2 o'clock today. If a seller asks agent to come take a look at the home for listing presentation, what would be best practice? Well, CAR's official position is you should not be doing that. My official position, my under the radar position is go do it, but take precautionary measures. Baylin, I don't know if you're an escrow. No, if you're pending status, you won't go on. Your listing won't go on hold. And Bob Field says if you're giving wiring instructions for your brokerage fee, make certain you have those instructions notarized before giving them to the escrow officer. So Bob, what are you saying there? Notary is kind of hard to do if we can't do face-to-face.
Ask the officer for wire for and then a sheet for you to be able to fill out your wire information, but then you want to make sure that they receive something that has been notarized with your signature on it, so that there's no way that it could have been breached between you and the officer.
Okay. Bridget says that UPS is still notarizing. So UPS might be an option. And
Sure.
Drew, I believe you're a notary as well too. Are you meeting face-to-face with people? Yes, and California is in negotiation actually to do virtual notaries. Drew says he is, but he'd rather not meet face-to-face, but he'll do it for you all.
Robert, can I chime in really quick? Because
Yes.
Judy just asked, what do you do if you've got a buyer who wants to see multiple properties? The state law right now says they're breaking the law also if they're out and about. So I'm going to say you've got to do what you got to do, and we're going to advise don't break the law.
Yes, that's our advice. And I'm not going to advise you to go put them in your car and take them to see homes. But we have homes to sell, so you guys can make a living.
And lean on your sellers. If they're motivated sellers, they can do FaceTime video or video of any kind and get it to you for them.
Judy, my recommendation is virtual showings. If we can get, would be FaceTime or virtual tours. And if they find a property through that they want to make an offer on, then go see that property. Probably the benefit of it, you're not going to be showing them 50 properties. They're going to, if they're really motivated to buy, they're going to probably pick from the 5 or 6 that they should be picking up from the first place.
Robert, you could also put a clause in as an additional term in the offer to say subject to physical viewing, right?
Yes, exactly. And based upon what's going on in New York, hopefully we don't make that California way, but now they're the hotbed for cases in the US. And it's mostly because of their proximity. So.
And I am going to, let me add this, and I posted a little bit earlier just on regular Facebook, but we do have, and I won't out them because there's no purpose in it, but we do have some agents in the metro area that have tested positive, and likely they were in homes within the last week or two. So the disease is in our community, and we just have to be extra careful.
The things that, from what I've seen on the news, to notice out for anybody that's been to New York or Louisiana for Mardi Gras. Those are the 2 hotbeds for cases being for rising. So make sure, ask your people that you're going to meet face to face with where they've been. Would be a good precautionary measure to take. I don't see any more questions. Okay, so with that, go ahead.
So this will apply to almost pretty much everyone. So I was having a conversation with my maps coach this morning for our coaching call, and they're what's called virtual open houses. And open houses is this, and how a lot of us are promoting our listings. There's a camera on Amazon called the Ricoh camera. It's RICOH. For the camera, the tripod, the setup, everything is about $400. And the service for it is $45 a month. So it's way less than Matterport pays for itself in about three photos. So basically what they do is they set the camera up through the home and they do the virtual tour that way. Then what they have is one agent will live on their team or their business Facebook, and then everyone else that works with them or whatever on their team. I know some of you are solo agents, and there's got to be another way we can team up together to do this. But everyone creates a watch party for this virtual open house. The agent is sitting there in their home showing the video of the virtual tour. There's a bunch of other people sharing this video and creating watch parties for their spheres. So it'll help bring more people to these properties via Facebook, and showing that we are more tech enabled than anyone else out there. And for anyone that's looking to buy, you may get that, but also everyone that's looking to sell, they're going to see that we're at the curve using these virtual openings to help our seller homes.
Good thing about this period is we're learning to go virtual, which we have the IVR activity capability now, and we will probably be speeding the adoption of that within the industry up. Thank you, Jay. And then finally, Baylin asked, what language should we include on the MLS listing? I will let you know after my meeting at 2 o'clock today. And then we'll see what would be the best practices for that. All right, guys, I'm going to pass it on back to Stephen. Everybody be safe, and please sanitize, sanitize, sanitize.
Robert, I have a question. This is Joe.
Yes.
So are we allowed to take new listings and put them active? I think maybe I missed that part.
Take new listings. Whether or not they're going to be active or not, I will know after about 2 o'clock today. I'm jumping on a meeting with SDAR right now.
Can we find out if they're vacant? Does that change their availability?
I am jumping on a call right now, Joe. You missed that part, and I will let you guys know after I'm done with this meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, guys. Stephen, back to you.
Howdy. All right. Can everybody do this if you can hear me okay? Because I'm having very spotty internet connection. Cool. Then I'll just look awkward and sound weird on my end. So wanted to keep things moving forward. That the good news is that we do still have people that are taking this opportunity to really pursue what they're passionate about and really being able to move forward. Quite a few people that I'm about to list here were saying, well, I have no other reason and I have no other avenues, and I've been wanting to do real estate, so now's a great time. So the following people, give them a nice warm welcome when eventually we see them face to face, or when you see them engaging in these online platforms. So a lovely welcome to Elizabeth, Cassidy, Arle, Michael, Tabitha, Chris, Robert, Machiko, Justin, Ron, Calvin, and Kathy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So we still have people coming on board, pursuing their real estate passion. So give them a nice virtual high five when you see them. As we're continuing to move things forward, and we still want to keep things light and bright, and would love to open this up for some bucket fills. So let's take a moment to unmute yourselves. And while you're doing that, wanting to reflect on what you're grateful for. Today, I just wanted to share something a little silly, is that I was able to basically catch up on emails, and I noticed that my cat, who doesn't love me, she loves Eve, has been very cuddly. So I'm grateful that for us that are staying at home, I think our pets are stoked about that. So silly little gratitude, but it's the little things that sometimes we take for granted. So let's open this up. What are you grateful for, and what are some bucket fills?
I have one.
Go for it.
I messaged you on Facebook, or I commented on Facebook. You know what? My bucket fill is for you, Stephen, and for Robert, Ashley, and our entire staff. You guys have had so much unending energy and positive information, and you're infectious and it's wonderful. And I really appreciate everything that you guys have been doing to keep all of us on board and all of us motivated. And thank you. Thank you.
Of course. Oh gosh. Well,
You
we're
guys-
passionate. Thank you. Thank you, Amy. Oh, you're sweet. Thank you. Thank you.
I have one too.
Go for it, Surreal.
Hey, I wanna fill Amy's bucket for using the word infectious in a positive way. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect timing. Love it.
You're
All
awesome.
right.
I'm grateful for the technology that we have to be able to do this. I'm sure a few years back we weren't able to do all this.
Yeah, you're right, Marwan. Absolutely. Thank you.
I have one.
Yes, Dr. Hart.
I am so grateful that I am with this group, Metro, while this shit is happening. Wouldn't want to be with any other people. Out of my mouth.
It is a good group to be with this shit happening. Yep.
Yeah. It's crazy times, y'all. Crazy times. Well, absolutely. Let's squeeze in. We're grateful for you. So one more. Let's squeeze in one more bucket fill.
I have one.
Go for it, Maddie.
I'm really grateful for all of you. I'm really grateful to be living here in San Diego, but we have this amazing weather, and we can go outside in our yard and exercise and stretch out and take really good air in our lungs and stay grateful and have this opportunity to meditate more and be thankful and read books and do all the amazing things we've been wanting to do. Thank you.
Love it, Mehdi. Great job. And again, let's not take this for granted, because these are the things in which I can't articulate this enough, that amidst these unpredictable times, we can create predictability. You do have full control over your schedule. You have full control over your mindset right now. So what you choose to put in your schedule is going to show what you're passionate about. So those that are still passionate about keeping their business moving forward, wanting to intro and just keep highlighting the ongoing trainings that we have. So obviously via Zoom, we still have scripts practice Tuesdays through Thursdays from 8:30 to 9:30. So far, what we've been talking about is really incorporating more and more videos into your business. And today's challenge, I actually, some of y'all, I don't know if you've gotten a chance to see it yet, but I posted a little video talking about the micro markets and being able to just step outside your door. Even if you don't want to go outside, that's fine. You can still communicate and saying, hey, look, if I were to go 3 blocks this way, this is the difference in price point. Just keeping everybody in the loop. If you want to do this kind of research at home, check out, download my app, so on and so forth. Or it can just be a nugget drop. Any case, we're still going over scripts, best business practices, and group accountability and masterminding Tuesdays through Thursdays from 8:30 to 9:30. And then Fridays, the virtual mimosas and scripts with Coach K, starting at 10:30 to 11:30. We also have the KW Command Tech Boot Camp, Mondays still going on at 2 p.m. And the Command overall trainings are Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9:30. So make sure to tune into those. Would like to pass this off to Amanda with Movement Mortgage. So Amanda, what kind of nuggets do you have for us today?
Sorry guys, technical difficulties.
No, I was gonna say, it sounds like, like you're on, Ricky's DJ, scratch board.
Sorry, you hear my kid in the background.
Thanks for having a shirt on now. That's good.
So today I just kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit of an idea of kind of like what's going on with the mortgage side of stuff. Okay, Charlie, sorry. Sorry guys. Hey. Well, it's like that CBC or that BBC video where the guy's like talking to the entire country and like his kid comes in. That's what's happening to me right now. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys an update what's going on with us. So as far as other lenders go, I can't really speak to everybody else because everyone else's reality is different. Ours is currently fine. Appraisals have been being ordered just fine. We don't have any issues with notaries at the moment. I am seeing some notaries kind of turning down signings for meeting with people who are in healthcare. We are looking into doing mobile notaries as far as like electronic signings, like via Zoom calls. It's getting in the works right now. Fannie Mae did announce on Monday or Tuesday, Monday, all my days are blending together, that they are going to be allowing a relapse on appraisals. So what that means is they're going to either allow curbside appraisals, electronic appraisals, and then right now we're still seeing like real appraisals where they're being able to go into the home, they're getting access. It's kind of business as usual as far as that's concerned. But there are putting things into place to make sure that we have backup plans and that we can still close these transactions. Mortgage rates all over the dang place, right? I mean, we're literally seeing them go from 3% one day to 4.5% the next day. So when people are trying to set expectations for their clients, it's very, very difficult for us because we're looking at it from, all right, well, today you qualify for 450, tomorrow you're going to qualify for 350. So usually it's kind of just more about like trying to find the right pocket of time to lock that client, and I feel like we've been pretty successful in doing so. But I definitely had a client over the weekend who I was working with, and they just decided that they're going to hold off for a while because they couldn't handle the roller coaster, and their debt to income ratio was so tight that if the rate did go high for some reason, they just simply couldn't qualify. So, you know, educating them on what's going on and trying our best to kind of, you know, put them in and lock them when the timing is right. It's a little bit more stressful, but now more than ever, I can hear Mark Miller saying, like, use that part in your contract where it says what the max interest rate needs to be. That's so important right now. Oh, thank you. That's awesome. So this looks like a screenshot from MBS Highway, but I monitor this on a daily basis. Ed, myself, and Wes are super on top of it when it comes to monitoring what's happening with the 10-year Treasury. Typically, mortgage rates follow the 10-year Treasury. That's what mortgage rates. That's not necessarily what's happening right now. It is to some extent, but a lot of lenders, what they're doing is because the volatility is so extreme, they're pricing ahead. So like Bank of America is a perfect example. I have a friend that works there. He's texting me every day, like, what's your rate at today? I'm like, I'm at 3.25. He's like, I'm at 4.5. And I'm like, well, they're trying to slow down application volume because they can't handle it. And they also don't want the risk. Bank of America and the big banks and the credit unions, they service their own loans, which means that when they originate it, they're originating it with their own money, and they're going to have them pay themselves back with it, right? So they don't want to risk having a bunch of loans locked at 3% and then rates shoot up to 4%. They want to keep them at that higher rate. It's more money, right? So to say that we're not in a crazy whirlwind is an understatement, but just trying to set those expectations for the clients, educating them as much as possible. Don't panic. Housing is probably the strongest investment anyone can have at the moment. Or actually, I would say arguably it just simply is. Sorry, guys. It simply is the strongest investment anyone can have at the moment, the most secure. And as soon as this is done, we're going to see a crazier market than we saw before we got into this. Did I answer all the questions, Stephen, about appraisals, rates, notaries? E-recordings are still happening just fine, so I'm not seeing any issue with that, but any other questions that I can kind of touch on?
Just to chime in here real quick, if you guys take a look at that chart that we sent Evie, normal progression, you know, small little movements over the past 6 months on a day-to-day basis, and then take a look at what's been going on in the past couple of weeks. There are these huge, violent ups and down swings of hundreds of basis points. So it's making our job a little bit difficult to be able to quote somebody a rate. But at the same token, we're doing everything that we can to make sure that they're being safe in this market and putting in the correct offer. So I'm really glad Amanda brought that up with putting in that, you know, make sure that it's no higher than X percentage into their RPAs, because that could save you in this market.
Can I answer a couple of these questions real quick? Dahlia was asking, what's a curbside appraisal? So that's when they literally just pull up to the house and they look at it from the outside. They might do some measurements, but they don't physically go into the home. That's essentially what a curbside appraisal is. Like the beard, Ed, looking good. And then great question, what's going on with jumbo loans? So as of right now, our jumbo loans are fine. All the non-QM stuff, which was like the bank statement loans and the stated income, that kind of stuff, that's all gone. Like it's been completely taken off the table. It's gone. There's no more liquidity for that. Jumbo, conservatively, I would say that I would be a little bit more skeptical on jumbo at the moment. That can change at any time, right? Because all the jumbo loans are usually being sold to the big banks. So if they say we don't have the liquidity anymore and we don't want to originate those, they can do that at any time. As of right now at Movement, it's business as usual. We still have jumbo loans processing. Once they're locked, we're usually okay, but that can still get pulled. So it's, you know, if I'm talking to somebody and they're looking into doing a jumbo loan, I'm trying to set their expectations that like, we'll do everything we can in our power to make sure that this closes for you. But we delegate through Wells Fargo, Bank of America, you know, things like that. So if they say we're not doing anymore, we can't originate them anymore. We'll probably end up closing what we have locked in the pipeline, but they wouldn't allow new origination. So if you have someone who's TBD approved and they find a house that they like and then they pull it that day, you're kind of in a tough spot. And that's definitely something that could happen for sure.
Jumbos are anything over 701-500, Surreal. And Jeannie, to answer your question, if someone's being laid off soon, that's usually part of our conversation up front when we're speaking to borrowers to make sure that they have some sort of stability with their employment, especially nowadays. So we're always asking that question and looking at what they do for a living. And so we obviously try to make sure that we don't bump into that issue and that could screw up a file for us. So we definitely address that up front.
Awesome. And thank you guys. And this is definitely something that just to, as if you haven't already noticed that, you know, Wes, Amanda, Ed, they all have such wonderful resources to be able to help us. And something that I really want to articulate that we're going to say this over and over and over again and until eventually it either lands or it gets so repetitive that we're just like, we know it. You can just expect us to say this. When you're reaching out to your database, these little nuggets, I took away something to where I was just like, huh, I didn't know that. Huh, interesting. How many other people in your database have no idea what that looks like? How many other people do not have these kind of updates? It's kind of a rhetorical question because y'all can answer that by reaching out to your database and finding out who would like this information. So thank you, Movement Mortgage, for being there for us. Seriously, we really do lean heavily on you guys, and the value that you provide is absolutely essential to us being able to keep our businesses moving forward. So Amanda, Wes, Ed, thank you all so much from the bottom of our hearts. Appreciate you. All right. How many people have Amanda's eyelashes? None. Thank you, Michael, for stating that. Just saw that. Next up, so in regards to continuing adding value, let's see. As far as our very own escrow company, A+ Escrow, Bob Fields, catch us up to speed. What you got for us?
I'm going to jump in for Bob. And working totally remotely, it took a few days to get all of our super ultra secure items in and set up for you guys because we do a lot of banking and wires. So that is all set. We're all hammered down and we're ready to take more escrows. Please be patient with your lenders. We are getting a huge influx of refis from lenders. It's just that kind of business that's coming in, and a lot of the title companies are being inundated. I'm not going to bash anybody over our meeting, but there are several companies that are on like a week out for prelims. So please just understand that everybody's kind of trying to work together. Your loan officers and your mortgage partners are working night and day to make sure everything is staying up to date. So thank you for, you know, everybody like Ed and Amanda and other mortgage partners. But on our side, we're ready. We take your net sheets. Our office is obviously closed, but our notaries are still out there. We understand the risk that they are running. We are talking to our notaries and letting them know if you're uncomfortable, please don't feel like you're pressured to go meet our clients. what a lot of the notaries are doing right now is they're meeting outside. We do have great weather here in San Diego. So several of my close notaries are meeting clients like at parks. If you're sitting across from your clients on a park table, they're okay with that. Just have a conversation with your clients and make sure that they're comfortable. That's really what it comes down to is, are you comfortable doing this? If you're not, then don't, obviously. But we're here for you. Thank you so much for your support and your business, and we appreciate you. And call me, email me if you need anything, and that's it. Stay healthy.
Yay. Thank you, Justin. Appreciate you.
My pleasure.
Next up, let's see. Let's get some good vibes going. Continuing as far as launch and growth updates. So business is still moving forward. And so would like to highlight some of these individuals that have chosen to pursue the productivity coaching program, whether it be in the launch for their first 3 transactions or the growth coaching, which is after their first 3. Carrie Dunn closed her second escrow a week early, nonetheless, so awesome. Brittany signed her first BRE and wrote her first offer. Nice, so we'll see how that goes. Nicole closed first escrow in the growth coaching program. Amazing job. Greg closed his 3rd escrow and has graduated the launch coaching program in quite a short amount of time. So great job, Greg, on that progress. And because of that progress, he has chosen to continue to with the growth coaching with Alicia to ensure that he has his best year ever. So great job, everybody. Congratulations on those that are pushing forward. Let's move into property pitches, please. Now, I'm going to take a brief moment because here's what I want to do. Get out your pens and paper, type these up, because these are the properties that I'd like to at least highlight the coming soons, because there's still people that are out there looking. So I'm going to go on a slight tangent and then open this up for the property pitches. The tangent that I'm talking about is by providing value. A lot of us that are prospecting based, marketing enhanced, we're used to going after the now business, myself included. We're used to going after the now business and saying anything that you add into your pipeline is gravy. That's additional business. For this sake and everything that we're doing to shift and pivot during these times, we're really focusing on anything that happens now is gravy. So what we're going to be doing is we're focusing on that pipeline, because when we get through all of this, and we will, when we get through all of this, we want to be on the forerunners of the people that when they think a real estate need, whether it be those landlords that need to finally sell those investment properties because the tenants were not able to pay, whether it be those tenants that do not want to be in a crappy situation again and saying, I'm tired of this, I need to be a homeowner. And for the other buyers that are waiting for all of this to go down so they can actually go and view properties, there will be a surge. And guess what? The agents that are in front of all of this will be the ones to pick up that business. So take an opportunity, please, to highlight these individual properties, push them on your social media page, let people know that buyers or sellers are still looking for buyers, that these are coming soon, they're not on the market. Do whatever you can to pitch these properties. Are we clear on pitching the following properties that are about to be announced? Good? Okay.
Yes.
So let's open this up. Okay, Chris, thank you for your zestiness. So let's open this up. What properties do we have coming soon?
This is Dan.
Dan, hey. I was like, wow, that flopped.
So I have a 1-bedroom in Normal Heights on the border of North Park at Idaho and El Cajon coming Friday. So it is vacant. It is 600 square feet. It's going to be listed at $315,000. It is fully renovated and in beautiful condition. It's a little 8-unit complex. And the HOA, I'm waiting to hear confirmation, but I think it's around 180 or 182 a month. So pretty away. And ready to go. It's a great investment property.
Beautiful. Dan, do we have your permission to share that on our own individual pages?
Yes, please. And in fact, I will having photos and a video tour created of the space that I will put out for everybody to market to their whole database if they'd like to.
Can you repeat the address?
It is, I have to look up the address. Hold on just a second. It is Idaho Street, but let me see. It is 4370 Idaho Street. So it's almost to Mead. It's between El Cajon and Mead.
Perfect.
So
Awesome.
once I get that video, which I should have on Friday afternoon, I will post it and give everyone full permission to market it in any way they see fit. Let's get it sold. Thanks.
Great job, Dan. Thank you.
And then I posted some pictures yesterday, but it's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo in Rancho Bernardo, $319,999 is what we're listing. We're waiting for a broker, Bob, to give us a green light, but if so, we're going live today. And I would really want to work with one of you guys. The house or the condo has its own website, so I'll send that link. The photography came out really good. It was the first project that I staged, so I'm pretty proud of that. But use it as your own listing. Send it, social media. I don't really care. I just want to sell it. So, yeah, thank you.
Great job, Bay. Great job.
Website, was that on command with a landing page or another?
I use Virtuance, and so it's that layout. And then there's also a panel 360 photo in the main living space so that you can get an idea of, you know, what it looks like being in the center of the room. It looks really great. The last comp was at 320 and we're completely upgraded. So I think we're about 15, 17,000 below market.
Great job. Great job, Bay. All right. Who else has some coming soons? I know Linda had posted that she still has some listings, quite a few actually. So Linda, I don't know if you're on the call. Would you be able to speak about any of those?
I think she's walking sugar.
Oh, fair
Hi,
enough.
I'm here.
There we go. Erica, yes, please give us the update.
Okay, so we have one on Kenmar. That is actually, no, that's already live. I'm trying to figure out, I wasn't expecting to give a speech. Hold on, we have one on Bird's Nest. I'm pulling it up right now, the partial listings. So 2226 Bird's Nest, that is a viewing detail. That's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath in Chula Vista. It's in Otay Ranch Village. It's going to be listed at $399. And we also have 7130 Shoreline, unit 1310. And that is listed at $490. And hold up while I find the $490 drum roll. Obviously, that's in University Town Center, and that is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 848 square feet.
Beautiful. All right.
And the other ones are all live. We may have 2 more coming. Actually, let me say we have 13398 and Trecken Avenue in 92129 zip code. That is a approximately 2,000 square foot house with 4 bedrooms and 2.5 baths. And we signed that listing this morning. That's for $820. And then one more at $690. This is at 9599 Bayamon Road in 92129 zip code. And that is 1,600 square feet and has 3 bedrooms and 2.5 baths.
Beautiful.
And that's it.
Love it. That's it. Yeah, so thank you, Erica. And let's make sure, because I'm seeing quite a few people be like, are these in the off-market spreadsheet? Danica, thank you for keeping that updated, by the way. So yes, make sure that as you have these coming up, please make sure that you are updating these in the spreadsheet. Chris.
I've got one. It's actually active, but you can't see it for a couple weeks because my clients are moving out. So there is an opportunity. It's at 301 West G Street, Unit 127. I forget the name of the complex. Anyway, it is a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-story townhome downtown in the Marina District. We're on at 925. My clients are extremely motivated. So when I say extremely motivated, read between the lines. They are selling. They're in Dallas right now buying a new house. And so they're getting a funky loan, so they're going to have to sell this house. My stager is not working right now, and they're going to move out first, so it will be vacant. But you guys can start advertising it all you want. I don't have pictures. I won't have pictures. I have to keep it active because the lender that they're using requires it. So, but it's on the market. The HOA fees are really reasonable at $600. It's got an updated kitchen, downstairs bathroom. It just looks gorgeous. It's street level too, so you can actually walk up. You can get into the house from Union Street. It's on Union and G Street.
Very nice. Great job, man.
I have
Great
one
job.
too, if I may.
Yes, please.
It's Susan Gedstead. Sorry, I elected not to show you the sweat attire that I've been wearing in quarantine. I have a 1-bedroom, 1-bath unit coming up in the Grand North Tower, which is 1205 Pacific Highway. It's unit 904, so it's on the 9th floor. It's not going to be on the market until probably the 1st or 2nd week in May because the tenant's still in it through the end of April. It's 821 square feet. And it's on the backside, so it has the view of downtown. It's really pretty. The price is nice, but again, I'd just like to mention up front that the HOAs are high, like $960, I believe, something in that vicinity. But if you've got anybody looking for downtown that wants all the nice amenities at a really good price, it's an affordable way to get in there.
How much?
It's going to be somewhere in the $560 range, something in that vicinity. And my number is 619-787-1756 if you have questions about it. Thanks, guys.
Beautiful. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Susan. Pegasus, you're muted, but I can see you with the San Francisco Bridge behind you, I think. But
yes,
you have
I'm
it
in
coming
San
soon.
Francisco. I'm traveling in San Francisco right now. Okay, I have 2 that are in the same complex it's called Sunrise Point. It's on Dandridge Lane, 58th and El Cajon Boulevard, right behind the IHOP 99-cent store, that complex there of stores. And one is like a penthouse unit. It's a 4th floor. The views are beautiful. It's going for $320. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 2 master suites actually. And the HOA is 407. The other one is a 3rd floor, 1-bedroom unit with 2 balconies. With 2 balconies, gorgeous views, going for $260. 1-bedroom, 1-bath.
Wow. So guys, anything that's under $350, I don't know if you realize, if anybody knows the specific number of what the average rent is in San Diego. So all I know is that I'm pretty sure that a mortgage of $350 for a $350,000 condo is pretty much better than the average of what people are paying in rent, if not right at. So again, a great opportunity for you to talk about all of these different properties depending on the price point. Regardless of the price point, do you see how you can basically market it to different populations, create different videos, create different opportunities, help these agents by creating these squeeze pages in Command, right? If you're saying, hey, look, here's some hot properties that are coming soon, that these properties are likely just as affordable as your rental payment, except you now have the pride of home ownership. And then here's also what's going on in the area. So that's what's pretty cool as far as, moving the business forward. The Lee Home team, do we have anybody that can speak to that? I know that Jay
Wait a second. Peggy's, can you tell us what that zip is before you move on?
92115.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melinda.
Thank you.
What's up?
Jay, do you have I thought that you had a few coming soon.
Yeah, we have 4. So we have one in Hamul. Address is 3932 Proctor Valley Road. It's perfect for it's 5.73 acres. It's already been allowed subdivided into 1 acre lots. So all those lots will be a little more than 1 acre each. All those homes are going for about $1 million a piece. So you can build 5 of them. And the guy just wants $1 million for the land as well as the house that's on it. Another one we have is in Ramona. It's 4 acres. There's no property. It's zoned and agricultural. So racing is one of the animals that is allowed to be on that land. I don't know what racing pigeons are, but you can have those. Have another one, Paradise House, coming soon. 2602 Keene Drive. It's a 3-2 single story. It's going at 475. It'll go live. He'll sell it right now, but we plan on going live in May. Another one in North Park. It's 3772 Wilson Avenue. It's a little tricky because it used to be a house and an ADU, and the house burned down, so now it's the ADU. The property, there's a property on the street that had the same situation to it, and for right around 500 grand, so we priced it lower than that. So it's to build the actual house back, but it's in North Park, so it'll be coming soon as well. And we have a few more appointments week and next week, so hopefully we'll have some more. But don't worry, I swear.
Love it. Thank you. Thank you. So do we have any other last coming soon properties? I think that what's interesting is that we reached 100 people on this call today, and I don't remember the last team meeting in which we've had so many coming soon properties to pitch. This is huge, guys, and this is the importance as far as working together and creating these kind of opportunities. Because again, the volatility of the market, guess what? We get to rely on each other, and at least we know where each other works. You know, yeah, Ashley.
I started today. I went back to the 9th of March, and only if you guys want it, I'll do a daily update to stats comparing this time versus last time, or this time last year, and put it on the Facebook page. There's still a lot of activity happening, and obviously Robert's going to update us after his call. But I think what he was trying to say is you will have the opportunity to put properties on hold and pause the market time. You won't have to put them on hold, meaning we're still going to have an active status for sure. I will say this last week, March is still outpacing last March by 3%. However, in this last week, when people started to take this actually seriously, we saw a 30% drop off on new listings, pendings, and solds just in this last week. I think that's going to be short term, probably the next 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks, and then it is going to spike very quickly because the pent-up demand is still there. So a couple weeks ago, I said we could lose 50% of our buyers and be okay. That's what's happening, and we're still okay.
We did.
Yep.
Yep. Perfect. Well, thank you, Ashley. And I was looking at the resounding, huge like nods, yes, as far as saying the daily updates. So I think we've got our answer on that, Ashley. So yeah, we are at time, and I appreciate you guys. Please, if you did not have a chance to voice a buyer need, if you did not have a chance to voice other coming soon properties, make sure you pitch this. And again, tomorrow for scripts practice, once you have these, we're going to start talking about tools and techniques and tips for rolling this out to both your database and your social media presence. You still have the option to keep your business moving forward. The choice is yours, and we want to equip you guys with that knowledge and information. So thank you so much for being here. We love you all.